Hey guys, so this week we're going to be talking about area and angles of triangles. So here I have a rectangle and a triangle right next to each other. Now the relationship that we do want you guys to see is that if I take this rectangle and I cut it in half, I make two equal right triangles. So a rectangle can always be cut in half to produce two equal right triangles. Now that plays a big part in trying to figure out the formula. So the formula for area of a rectangle was area is equal to base times height. Now because I cut it in half to get one triangle, my formula is now area is equal to base times height, but I cut it in half, so divided by 2. Now, another way to write this formula is area is equal to half base times height. Remember, we talked about dividing by 2 and multiplying by 1/2 is really the same thing. So let's go through a couple of examples. So here I have a triangle that has a base of 5 and a height of 7. So my formula is base times height divided by 2. Now let's just plug in the values. So I have 7 times 5 divided by 2. So 7 times 5 gives us 35, and 35 divided by 2. 2 can go into 3 one time, I get 2. 15 left over. 2 can go into 15 7 times, I get 14. And 1 left over, add a decimal 0. 2 can go into 10 now 5 times. So my area there would be 17.5 units, because I don't know if it's inches, meters, or whatever, units squared. The next one I have a base of 14 and a height of 16. So again, area equals, and this time I want to use the other one so you guys can see both ways. We have half base height. Again, plug in the values. I have half times the base is 14 times my height is 16. So what I can do instead of dividing the entire thing by 2, I can just divide one of the other two numbers in half. So I have 1/2 14 times 16. I could take 1/2 of 14, which is 7, times 16 and get my answer there. So 16 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 4 is 11. So we have 112 inches squared. Again, it works if you want to divide the entire, like multiply 14 times 16 first and then divide by 2, you get the exact same thing. So 112 inches squared. The next one, I have a base of 3.5 and a height of 2 meters. So again, I have base times height divided by 2. We have 2 times 3.5 divided by 2. Now if I double the 3.5, so 3.5 times 2, I get 7. And 7 divided by 2 gives me 3.5. So we have 3.5 meters squared. The next thing we need to talk about is angles. So area and the angles of a triangle. So triangles are named by the 3 angles. Angles can be named in 2 different ways. So here's our example. We have triangle A, B, and C, where if I wanted to know angle A can also be called angle A, but it can also be called CAB or BAC. to where that angle A is in the middle. That's how we know what angle we're talking about. So the sum of the three angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. And I did mess up on these notes here. 180, 180. So using the information about the triangle, you can set up an equation to find the missing angle. So if I know all of these angles added together, 32 plus 81 plus x, all of that added together is equal to 180 degrees. If I'm missing one, how am I going to find that? So let's set up that equation. So I know it's all equal to 180. We have x plus 32 plus 81. Now I can't add the x with the numbers there, but I can add the numbers. 32 plus 81 gives me 113. So I have 180 is equal to x plus 113. Now to get that x by itself, we have to do the inverse operations. So I have plus 113, so we're going to subtract 113. So 0 minus 3, can't do that, let's borrow. This makes it a 10. 10 minus 3 gives us 7. 7 minus 1 gives us 6. So x is equal to 67 degrees. And you're going to do that with the other two. So here on question number 2, we're trying to find the missing angle. Now it only gives us really one number, but really it gives us 2. So back in elementary school, you guys should have seen this angle here. This is a right angle, which gives us 90 degrees. Now my missing angle there is going to be angle F. I want to know what that measurement is. So again, we can set it up. I know that the three angles equal to 180. So I have 180 is equal to x plus 90 plus 45. So let's combine our like terms there. 90 plus 45 gives us 135. So x plus 135 is equal to 180. And again, inverse operations there. If I'm adding 135, I want to subtract 135. Okay, I can't take away from 5 from 0, so we're going to borrow. So 10 minus 5 gives us 5, and 7 minus 3 gives us 4. So x is equal to 45 degrees. Okay, our last example here, we're trying to find the measure of angle HIG. Remember, the missing angle or the angle that it's referring to is the one in the middle. So I want to know this angle. So we have 180 is equal to x plus 51 plus 58. Again, first thing I want to do is to find this. So 51 plus 58 gives us 109. So we have x plus 109 is equal to 180. And again, we're doing the inverse operations to get the x by itself, so minus 109. Can't take away, I need to borrow. 10 minus 9 is 1, and 7 minus 0 is 7. So x is equal to 71 degrees.